Welcome to the Westonka Historical Society's presentation of the Dodds hardware store. Bruce and Patty Dodds currently own and operate the True Value hardware store in downtown Mound. Bruce is the fourth generation in this family in the hardware store business. Nancy Steiner Dodds' father, Roy, and her grandfather, Orlando, were in the hardware store business. Orlando traveled on the road by horse and buggy, selling farm machinery for J.I. Case. He began to sell machinery from a vacant lot in Maple Plain. He built a hardware store there that opened in about 1915, and his son Roy came to work for him there. It became O. Steiner and Son. As a youngster, Nancy spent her time in Orlando's shop, learning to use the equipment, including an acetylene blowtorch, and learning how to put machines together. Also growing up at this time, at age 22, Jerry Dodds worked at the Mound Coast to Coast hardware store, run by Ed Bemler and Byron Nygaard. The next year he worked for Mound Hardware, and then sold hardware merchandise on the road. In April 1952, Jerry married Nancy Steiner. Jerry worked again for a while for Mound Hardware, and then started his own plumbing business. In 1987, Jerry and Nancy, with their son Bruce, now age 26, and Bruce's wife Patty as partners, bought the Coast to Coast in Mound from Don English, who had owned it for 10 years. This hardware store was then located about where the parking ramp is today. Jerry, Nancy, Bruce, and Patty ran the Coast to Coast together for 5 years. Nancy did the books, was the CFO, and Patty did everything else, the floor and the departments, especially paint. In January 1992, Jerry and Nancy retired, but they continued to work part-time. In 2000, Mound Visions was encouraging businesses to relocate onto the main street in downtown Mound. Bruce and Patty did a land swap with the city and relocated their True Value hardware store so that their storefront was on Commerce Boulevard with parking behind the store. The Mound Transit Center was built on the site of their previous store. In 2012, Bruce and Patty Dodds celebrated their 25th year in the hardware business. We hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. Do you know the history of a business in our Westonka area? Would you share that with us so that it can be preserved for our community's history? If so, please collect the facts and the photos and contact us at 952-472-9800.